Hello, sweetie. Welcome to this very special episode of the officially unofficial Geek channel here on YouTube. Wow, this is the first official Patreon preview of the officially unofficial Geek channel Profiles in Excellence. As I have mentioned before in previous episode, I will be doing previews of different Patreon previews as a part of my main events videos. And this is one of them, Profiles in Excellence. Yay! Here, I will take a deep dive into the things that make a person, place, or thing fictional or non-fictional great, FYI. And I feel this may go without saying. This is a little bit spoiler-ridden deluxe. Okay, so without further ado, I do have my notes ready here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my goodness. So without further ado, I give you Profiles in Excellence, Riverson, aka Melanie Pond from Doctor Who. This is our subject, not him, her. Ignore him for a moment. This is our subject, Professor Riverson, aka Melody Pond. Born on a military base for a movement called the Silence, to an imprisoned Amy Pond and her father, Rory Williams. Amy Pond and Rory Williams being companions of the Doctor. She was born after being conceived on the wedding night of her parents while the TARDIS was traveling through the time vortex. While her mother, Amy, was pregnant with her, Amy was kidnapped by the Silence and kept on Demon's Run, the military base, for most of her pregnancy. Amy gave birth to Melanie Pond, awaiting her husband, Rory Williams, and the Doctor to come save her and the baby from the base. The Silence kidnapped the pregnant Amy because they were looking to take the baby conceived in time travel to turn her into a weapon to kill what they believed to be their number one threat, the Doctor. So that is where the story of Riverson, aka Melanie Pond, begins. This is not the first time. That's where her story begins, but this is not the first time that the Doctor meets her. We, as an audience, looking in and observing, experience the story of Riverson in the same way the Doctor does, mostly back to front in reverse order. It is said that the Doctor and Riverson keep meeting backwards, which is why at a certain time the Doctor gifts Riverson with a journal designed to look like the TARDIS. It's very lovely, and he keeps a matching one to write about all their journeys together. When they come across each other, they spend time synchronizing their journals before they do anything else to know where they are in each other's timeline. Riverson, whom is played by different actors during her time on Doctor Who. Harrison and Madison Mortimer play the baby version of Riverson. Sydney Wade, Maya Glace Green, and Nita Toussaint White. And then finally, the one that actually is most synonymous with the role, Alex Kingston. Those of you that are not familiar with Doctor Who may be familiar with Alex Kingston for other works that she has done. One of the most famous ones is she was on ER. Yes, that's probably where my mom knows her, is ER. So that's where a lot of Americans probably know her best, until we had a big boom of love for the Doctor over the recent years. So she was the creation of a writer and future showrunner of Doctor Who. His name is Stephen Moffat. And it is said that he personally took it upon himself to be the main writer on any episode and every episode that River was in because of a responsibility he felt to the character. He said of his creation that she was a more sexual, trigger-happy version of the Doctor, the strongest female character seen on Doctor Who for quite a while, and boy, was she. Alex Kingston, whom I said was supposedly was the main actor that played River Song, whom was also supposedly a fan of Doctor Who when she was young, referred to River as somewhat of a time-traveling Indiana Jones, and that she was also inspired in her portrayal by Ellen Ripley from Alien. She said that she was always jealous of Sigourney Weaver in that role, and loved that she got the opportunity to play River Song. And while it wasn't necessarily totally Ellen Ripley-esque, she did find some inspiration from that. So River Song was written and presented in many different ways to be the one person in the universe that to be the Doctor's equal, during a time when it was believed that nobody else existed like him. So for instance, there were no other Time Lords. There were believed to be no other Time Lords at this time. So the Doctor was the only Time Lord. As obviously, if you're familiar with Doctor Who as a whole, you know that there's way more to it than that, but I digress. Yeah, so it was basically nobody else was like him. River refers to the Doctor. She refers to the Doctor in Silence in the Library, which is her first appearance, as the man that she's seen whole armies turn around at the mention of his name, a concept that does come up later at Demon's Run. While her recorded and documented reputation, River Song's reputation, causes one of the most feared enemies of the Doctor, a Dalek, to beg for mercy until she kills it in the episode called The Big Bang. She actually gets a Dalek to scream mercy just at the mention of her name, which is an awesome scene, because if you know anything about Daleks, they do not ask for mercy. But when River alludes to the fact that she does know how to kill a Dalek by shooting it in the eye stalk, and the Dalek doesn't realize who she is, the Dalek is like, well, you're a companion of the Doctor, so you will show mercy. She merely has to say that her name is River Song and ask them to check their records again. And that's what prompts the Dalek to beg for mercy before she kills it. I love her. So River impersonates Cleopatra with the aid of hallucinogenic lipstick to infiltrate the ancient Roman Empire forces near Stonehenge, just so her and the Doctor can use their help and horses in dealing with the Pandorica opening. She is the only one that can fly the TARDIS better than the Doctor, because she knows not how to lead. She knows how to not lead the parking brake on. That was, oh my God. So that was a major, that was one of those things where the sound of the TARDIS that everyone associates with the sound of the TARDIS, the wheezing kind of thing. Oh my God, people got so mad about that. I thought it was funny. That she refers to the wheezing as that it's not supposed to do that. That the reason it does that is whenever the TARDIS lands or takes off is because he leaves the parking brake on. People hated that because it's a really celebrated, amongst Doctor Who fans, a really celebrated item. It's really celebrated that the TARDIS always looks like the TARDIS, and the TARDIS always sounds like that. So when Stephen Moffat wrote that, there were some people that were annoyed with that one. I personally thought it was funny because it shows that, you know, this clever wit between the two of them. It's Stuff like that just amplifies it, and I think it amplifies the story. Um, in the vein of her being the more trigger-happy version of the Doctor, River's accuracy with a blaster is unmatched by some at best. Her precision with a blaster gets them out of so many jams, especially when she single-handedly defeats a room full of the alien that belongs to the alien beings that are associated with the silence. She basically kills a whole room full on her own. Of the aliens associated with the silence that look kind of like um, grays, like alien grays. She does it with one blaster in the episode Day of the Moon. She basically, um, she just takes care of all of them because she's River. River's knowledge of the universe is unmatched as well, to the point where even long after she is gone, her presence is felt by the Doctor. He laments in some situations where they don't know what to do, that River, he basically is like, River would have known what to do if she was here. He does say that on a few different occasions after her presence is not there anymore. The Doctor, when posing as a college professor, keeps two pictures on his desk. One is of Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, and one is of River, whom is indicated as still the voice in the Doctor's head when he talks to the picture after she's no longer there in person. It is her intellect that fixes the busted teleport device in Flesh and Stone that saves the life of one Amy Pond from the Weeping Angels when it is felt that all may be lost. Little did any of them know, but River knew she was in fact saving her own mother's life. One of the most loved quotes describing River Song was when the Doctor said that she was hell in high heels, when she so loved the Doctor that she risked all of time and reality to keep herself from having to be the one forced against her will to kill him, only to make sure he knew that he was worth fighting for, and he was worth a fighting chance, that the universe wasn't better off without him. When the Vashta Narada threatened the biggest library in the universe and anyone that stepped foot in it, she battled with her heartbreak of the Doctor not recognizing her to provide the Doctor with the tools and knowledge needed to help save the 4,023 people, including Donna, trapped in the library's computer memory. The library. We should go ahead and talk about the library. The library. That was where the Doctor first met River Song, where we, the fans of Doctor Who, first met River Song. And for me, the library is also where I met my home fandom of Doctor Who. So for me, River has been there since day one of my love affair with Doctor Who. See, I could sit here and tell you everything about River Song. I could tell you everything about River Song. I know her whole timeline, front to back to front, right to left, and back again. That's a promise. I really could. I have been described and tabbed in the past as a type of subject matter expert on River Song. It's happened. I could give you the whole timeline. Everything she did, said. I could quote famous and even not so famous lines. But I'd rather entice you to seek her out yourself. Because the first time I watched a full episode of Doctor Who was Silence in the Library, the debut of River Song. In that 2-episode arc, we see a woman whom is a character that is new, but not fully actualized as we see a character whom is a woman whom is a character that is not new, but yet fully actualized as a strong, independent female character. And we see her grow through her appearances in the show in the way that is hard to understand considering it's backwards. It's really backwards because her whole history is back to front. It allows us to fully understand the complexity of a character in those just first 2 episodes. With River Song, Stephen Moffat gave us exactly what he did. Exactly what he said he did. A female character that was every bit the male doctor's equal, but with her own essence that got to be her own identity. She was not defined by the doctor. She was defined by herself and her own experiences in addition to the ways her doctor had a presence in her life. River could stand on her own. And when she did make the choice to be with the doctor, when she did, she could stand either on her own or next to him with her own path, her own earned achievements, and a view of her own. She was written to be a strong female presence in Doctor Who, but to give her autonomy mixed with her fierce loyalty to the ones she loved, made River Song also one of the best female characters in the genre of science fiction fantasy. So I could tell you her entire timeline in many different ways, but as River said to the Doctor in Flesh and Stone, her story is, it's a long, and I quote, "It's a long story, Doctor. Can't be told. Has to be lived. No sneak previews." End quote. I hope if you've ever watched Doctor Who or any episodes of River Song, if you've never watched any of it, if you've never watched any of the episodes of Doctor Who or even of River Song, I hope I've enticed you to do that. You can find seasons of Doctor Who starting from the most recent, the modern reboot of 2005 on HBO Max. It goes from the modern reboot 2005 with number 9 Doctor Chris Eccleston, and goes all the way through to the most recent episodes of Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker. This is on HBO Max. And there's tons of other stuff on HBO Max that is really cool, but Doctor Who, definitely all those episodes are there. When you see the beautiful story of River Song, you will see, in conclusion, in the most non-complex terms, a woman that, while fulfilling her need for a full life, was the woman whom was forced to hunt and kill the doctor. The woman that marries the doctor. And in the end, the woman that saves the doctor. And that'll do it. So thank you for joining me in this Profiles in Excellence of River Song from Doctor Who. River Song, aka Melody Pond from Doctor Who. Let me know if you're a Whovian and that loves River Song in the comments. Tell me your favorite River Song moment, your favorite River Song quote. And while you're at it, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel for more fun like this every week. We do reviews and comic reviews and deep dives like this. Check out our Facebook as well and other social media. I'll include information for those in the description below. This has been the officially unofficial Geek channel, and I am Carrie Quinn. And please take care of each other and be kind and geek out whenever possible. I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into River Song, and I hope you check it out and geek out on Doctor Who. Bye!